Asishutanga la nto yile. Sasenayo buli lona.
Standing on top of Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel.
Okay, Amitai, where are you at? Did you want to share?
My friend,
Yes.
in Israel, you feel this kind of breeze that is This is the sea. This is the Mediterranean sea breeze. Mediterranean is the
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. Feel the breeze. Where it comes from?
Sea breeze.
See here also, Mediterranean sea.
Yeah.
So this is west, this is east. And you just crossed, you saw Jordan, you saw the kingdom of Jordan. You just crossed the whole place of Israel, the whole state of Israel from kingdom of Jordan from the east
To the west.
all the way to the west. West Jordan. Okay, and today we'll continue generally this area. This is Mount Carmel.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
All right. So, as Amitai said, we are at Carmel, okay, which is obviously controlled by the Catholic Church of Carmelite. Carmelite is the root system from Carmel. That's where it all comes from. As you guys will find, especially when we're in Jerusalem, usually when it comes to holy Christ and the Catholic faith that are very significant to the text and not to the book of the Basilica, you understand is that the Franciscans are the ones that control the holy Church. So, first of all, September, which is a unique situation with the one Franciscan there to control it, you see with the different sides of the Franciscans, they're the ones that have kind of been given that authority over different sites. Okay, but the Carmelites obviously they are here. Okay, so the Carmelite order within the Catholic Church. Now, why is Mount Carmel important and why is it significant to the text? All right, throw out some thoughts. Why do we know Mount Carmel?
Elijah.
Elijah. And why is Elijah significant to this location? Okay, fire was involved.
Fire from heaven, the 400 prophets of Baal.
Prophets of Baal. Okay. What else? Rain.
This is the rain.
All right, we got some rain coming. All right. So, Elijah in the Jewish faith is the epitome and the perfect example of zeal, passion. To be in the spirit of Elijah means that you're one of the most passionate individuals for the faith and the text that's ever walked this earth. Okay? There were only two individuals in all of the New Testament that were questioned as to whether they were Elijah or not. Who were they? J the B and Jesus. Okay? John the Baptist and Jesus. Okay, they're the only two that says a lot about their lifestyle. Says a lot about what people thought about them. Okay? In addition to that, obviously, Malachi chapter 4, verses 6 through 8 communicates that that Elijah would come back. Now, what's interesting about that text is we start to see it merging together between two individuals, Moses and Elijah. Okay? Both very important and significant individuals to the Old Testament, all right? To the Tanakh, to the understanding of the Bible before the New Testament was written. If you know who Moses and Elijah represent, you know their lifestyles, the way they were approached within the Jewish faith, it begins to open up a lot of insight and doors into the New Testament. Jesus, as the greater Moses, was also the greater Elijah. He was also the greater Adam, or second Adam. He was also true Israel. He was also the greater David, the greater Joshua. He was also the greater Noah. All of these individuals find their fulfillment in him. They're encapsulated in this man based on the way that he lived. Everything screams these prominent figures in the Old Testament in his life. Okay? They're very important, significant figures. All right, now, why is Elijah? We're here to talk about the outside of Elijah. Why is Elijah considered to be so zealous in the picture of passion? When you see pictures, drawn artwork of Elijah, usually just this crazy, wild-eyed looking guy, this beard just going crazy, all right? He was a prophet that was he was zealous for truth, for God protecting the word of God, for God protecting the prophetic in the land and all the above. Now, put his neck on the line. Who was king at the time of Elijah?
Ahab.
Who was Ahab married to? Jezebel. Jezebel. What was the dominant religion of the northern kingdom? Baal worship.
Baal worship.
He's married to Baal. Okay? So they're fully given over is the idea from the top down. So the prophets of Baal come to a showdown with Elijah. 450 prophets of Baal, 400 prophets of Asherah. Asherah was Baal's consort. Okay? And both were worshipped. Baal and Asherah worshipped in pretty horrendous ways. Okay? Up north in Israel, there's a town called Caesarea Philippi, which I'm sure many of us are aware of, and the reason it's famous is because Jesus took his disciples there. Okay? In Matthew chapter 16, that's where Peter ultimately makes a statement. Jesus asked the question, who do you say that I am? Who do you say that I am? Who do men and who do you say that I am? You're the Son of the living God. Okay? Flesh and blood is not revealed to you, but my Father who is in heaven. All right? That also places Caesarea Philippi, which actually was, in some capacity, the main location where Baal and Asherah were worshipped. And it's where the gates of hell are. There were only two locations in the ancient world where the gates of hell was said to exist. Caesarea Philippi and Hierapolis. It was in Turkey. It was the gateway to the underworld. And that's where Jesus was with his disciples. Think about Ben Sean on steroids. That's what went on there. Jesus takes him there. It's 26 miles north of Capernaum. He's in the middle of nowhere. Why would he walk an entire marathon with his disciples to Caesarea Philippi? He had a point. He was looking for the showman. He was looking to establish Shabbat. He was making a statement. This is where you're going. Prepare yourself. But let me tell you something. You can't have an impact with the gospel in regions such as this. You need to know what you're stepping into. Okay? Now here's the thing. Elijah, passion. They gather. They ascend and they climb up Mount Carmel. This is the Jezreel Valley. They come up Mount Carmel. I have hiked this mountain from that road down there. Okay? When I got to the top of this thing, I was done for the rest of the day. Okay? I was 100%.
This road.
I was like, no more signs, no more nothing. Put me on the bus, take the hotel room. I am close. This is a hike. They hike up.
This one is like that.
The prophets of Baal, what they end up doing is they build an altar, and they start cutting themselves, they start dancing around, they're doing ecstatic tongues is what they're saying. They're sung, and at one point, obviously called fire down from heaven for the sole purpose of God. The question was, the winner, in essence, the one that had their body emptied by fire to consume the sacrifice, is the winners. Okay? And no rain, okay, for 3 years up to this point. Nothing happens in the midst of this. And Elijah even taunts them and says, maybe your God's relieving himself right now to the bathroom. Come on, keep going. Because he understands there's only one true living God, and there's going to be no Baal answering from fire. Because fire, in the text, symbolizes what, Jay? Presence of God. That's exactly right. Fire is a picture of the presence of God in the text. Okay? It goes same thing, dumping, heaping coals on somebody, says, creating a vacuum for God to encounter somebody. It's not creating an opportunity to spite somebody because they're wicked. It's a vacuum. I'm going to be kind to you in the midst of your wickedness. To create a vacuum for God to encounter. Okay? That's the idea behind it. Fire is the picture of the presence of God. So, obviously, he doesn't answer, and the result is that he ends up going. What Elijah does is he builds his own altar, and we're told that he ends up 4 times dumping 6 jars of water on top. So that, if you do the math, as far as what we see going on, so it's 6 times 4 jars of water. If each jar was 5 gallons, okay, that would be a total of 80 gallons of water. Okay, so a lot of water. Sorry? That's a great question. There's a lot of water here. Carmel is a major source of water. Even though it did not rain, there is fresh water in Carmel. So, yeah, that is a good question. We're going to actually look at that a little bit more in another site. But that you're actually leading into something which I'm glad you bring up. Okay. It says, right after God, the fire came down and actually lit up the water.
That's awesome.
Nothing was left. All this left. Baal is the god of water. Okay? There's a statement being made. Why else would he think he was just dumping water on there to prove a point? No, he's making a statement. My God is the only true living God, and the prophets of Baal. I'm going to prove to you that water is what it is. Nothing. Okay? Mix it up, goes back down, slaughters the 400 prophets of Baal, climbs back up 2 times in one day. We ain't over yet. He begins to go in the place of intercession, ask his servant to look out over the Mediterranean Sea as he intercedes and says, tell me when you see something. Servant comes back after praying 3 times. I see a cloud the size of a man's hand. This drought is about to end. He says, tell Ahab in the Jezreel Valley. In the Jezreel Valley, if it's fertile the land in it, you get a big rainstorm, the rain can be going nowhere as big as that much. He runs down, and then it says that he ran in front of the chariot 18 miles to Megiddo. That's the road to Megiddo. Look at my about to learn on our way here. One day. Climbed this mountain twice, did everything that he did. Talk about passion and zeal. Here's the point.
Yeah.
It is. And it's more than that. It's a determination to tap in to the supernatural power and zeal.
Yeah.
It's an agreement with it. So he goes there, and then he goes on the run. And it says that he goes to the wilderness, and he climbs up underneath the broom tree, and he's just like, just kill me now. I'm done. After a day like that, just take me out.
Yeah. He was just like, oh man.
Okay? He has an angel show up to feed him, and he wakes up, and when he wakes up, what he sees is he sees cakes roasting on top of
Coals.
And he leaves. It happens twice, and he leaves, and it says that he goes for 40 days on a journey to Mount Sinai. Why Sinai? 20 miles a day, 800 miles. Elijah goes to Sinai, The reason that he goes to Sinai is because Sinai is where the word is given. Paul most likely went to Sinai. I know some scholars that think that during Jesus' 40 days, that's where he went. But 40 is significant. In the Jewish mind, in the text, 40 is the absolute max. It's the most. 40 years in the wilderness. 40 days of fasting. 40, 40, 40, 40, 40. It's not a coincidence that 40 is in the text. It's the picture of max. And it's interesting that Moses had to do it twice. But he got the word after 40, but then he destroyed the word. Okay? So, he gets to the mountain, there's a wind, there's an earthquake, and he asks God, in essence, the text actually makes a statement that God was not heard in the wind or the earthquake. And then it says he whispers, a still small voice. Do you know what that means? That God is really close.
Yep.
It's good. God is good.
He's not in just the grandeur. He's here. He's present. He doesn't need to give an earthquake to make himself known. Amen. It's in whisper. He's close to us. What I love about this picture, and I mentioned this whenever we were at Caesarea Philippi, Acts chapter 16, Paul is on his way in Asia on his second missionary journey, trying to get over to Asia. He's in Asia Minor trying to make his way over to Asia, and he gets redirected. After 2 times trying to get in, finally has to send an angel says, don't go there, go to Macedonia, go up and around. Don't go to the coast where the 7 churches of Revelation are found. Don't go to the coast, don't go to Asia. But he was pushing and he was fighting. But in my opinion, many times what zeal looks like is it's not seeking the will of the Lord by staying still. It's seeking the will of the Lord on the run. God leads by red lights, not green lights. God leads by red lights, not green lights. What that means is you go and you go hard until God shuts the door and redirects you. He's really good at pointing you in the right direction. Quit sitting around wondering if it's the right decision. Just go for it. He's really good at leading you on the run. Because God is about the journey, He's not about the destination. Many times what the will of God looks like is you start here and we want to get here and we think it looks like this. What we don't realize is that the will of God journey looks a lot like this. That's what goes on. It's not. But in our Western thinking, we think it's a dot step. It's got to be this way. There's a right way to do it. And from God's perspective, He's saying there's no right way to do it. Just love God and go hard.
Amen.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's well said. Well said.
I don't know. What did he say?
What did he say?
He said, say it again.
I have a plan versus God's plan. Which
Yes.
Right. God's plan is the journey. Because in the journey, He gets the heart.
For sure.
Does the work that prepares us for the destination.
That's exactly right. Well said. So the reason I love Carmel is because it gives us a picture of passion in a man that just said yes and didn't give up and continued to go on the journey until God ultimately relieved him of his responsibilities. And the season changed for him. It was a pretty profound change because he got taken up in a fiery chariot. But it's a season change.
Yeah.
We don't all get the fiery chariots, but we get season changes. And he actually took the time to truly sow himself into somebody else that will receive double the portion of what he did. Elisha. Comments?
There's a tradition of 40 lashes can kill you, so they give you 39 lashes so that you live. I think that's kind of interesting, going along with what you were saying is like Jesus and Moses, they went to the max with God's power, not just below it.
You're taking my teaching in Jerusalem. That's a great observation. Well done. That's it, man. You're nailing it. It's awesome.
Come on.